Hello everyone, hang on, sorry, I'm just adjusting this, give me a moment. I have not been live in a couple weeks, so I'm super happy to be here and spend some time with you guys. So say hello as you hop on. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, feel free to say hello in the comments, get to know each other, let me know who's watching. And give it a few minutes for everyone to join. We're going to be talking about manifestation. I'm going to be doing some live coaching here for you. Hello, everyone hopping on. Feel free to say hello in the chat box below. Let me know you're here. Let me know if this is your first time catching me or if you're returning. You can let me know where you're tuning in from. I enjoy seeing who's here with me and getting to know you guys. Welcome, everyone. So I do have some cards here. I'm going to pull some cards just to kind of kickstart the reading because it's been a while since I've done cards. It's been a while since I've been here live because during the summer I was traveling a lot, but I will be here consistently. Thank you, Whitting. Thank you for the roses. Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, stick around. We're going to talk about manifestation. I'm going to do live coaching here. You know, if you guys bring up a topic, I'll just riff on it, answer some questions, help you guys make sure you understand this. So topics like manifestation, law of assumption, how to manifest a specific person, affirmations, sleep tapes, do they work, how to reprogram your subconscious, how to get what you want, emotional healing, alignment, any of those things. That's all what I do and what I'm passionate about. I can help you manifest anything you want. The process really is the same no matter what you want to manifest. It's just in our minds, sometimes we have blocks around certain things. So in these live sessions, I love to help you see that. If you guys are looking for one-on-one support, the link for everything's in my bio. Okay, I'm going to open up video sessions again soon. Right now it's just email coaching, but what my gift is, what I'm really good at doing is helping you see like the subconscious patterns and blocks so that you can shift them. So that's what I'm good at doing. Hello, Maria, welcome. How's everyone tonight? Let me know. I'm just going to pull some cards and see like what the energy is, what you need to know, you know, maybe give us something to start talking about. And then if you guys have any questions about, if you guys have any questions about manifestation, law of assumption, how it works, something you're struggling with and want help working through, just drop them in the comments below and I will get to them. Okay. You're doing great. Good. I'm glad. I'm doing great as well. I got back from vacation on Sunday and then it's just been hectic but good, busy, just getting settled back in. So but for those of you who are new, now that I'm back and summer's over, I will be going live at least once a week, and then I put videos out each week. I have a YouTube channel, so I always upload the replays of these live coaching sessions there. So there's a lot of resources on there, free and paid, however you want to connect with me. Thank you guys. Glad you like my lip gloss. Thank you. I have subliminal bundles, subliminal and affirmation bundles that I released, I think like at the start of the summer, and I'm going to be making more because you guys loved those and I've had like some of my private clients ask for more. So stay tuned for that. If you guys want to stay up to date with everything, as well as get like weekly encouraging messages from me, feel free to sign up for my newsletter. So if you go to my profile, the link in my page will have all of that stuff. The newsletter, I think, is the last one on there. So if there's ever anything like new that I've created, that will be there at the bottom, but it's always like a message for you guys first. Okay, so that's how that works. If you guys have any questions, let me know. The card that flipped out when I was shuffling, by the way, from this deck, and we're going to pull more, says positive energy. Surround yourself with positive people and situations and avoid negativity. Okay, so probably when if you've found manifestation from, usually we find it from the law of attraction first, like maybe you watched The Secret or something, and you probably heard people talk about, oh, just raise your vibration, it'll help you be an energetic match to what you want, yada yada. All of that's good and great. A lot of people get confused about what that means, but I'm going to break it down for you in simple, easy to understand law of assumption terms. Really what it has to do with is that you're going to manifest what you're thinking, okay? And why the law of attraction says to feel good is because when you think better thoughts, you're going to naturally feel better, right? It's going to be hard to feel good if you're thinking shitty thoughts, right? So I think that's like, where people struggle with law of attraction for a long time. They're like, well, how do I just feel better? And maybe they do things to numb out, or they bypass and don't kind of look at some of the issues going on. And the thing is, anytime you have an issue in your life, it's because of how you're thinking about it, okay? So you want to surround yourself with positive energy. So it doesn't matter if you're in a toxic relationship that you can't leave right now. It doesn't matter if you're stuck at home with your family and they're negative. It doesn't matter if you're at a job you don't love right now. That doesn't matter. Outside circumstances don't matter. What you want to do is saturate your inner world, your mind, your emotions with positive energy. And you can do that by focusing on your mental diet. Guys, if you need tools for this, I have a ton of free affirmation subliminal tracks on my YouTube. I also have, very low cost ones you can do too if you want, okay? You want to reprogram your mind, and you have to do it with repetition, okay? I actually have a free one I created just today that's going to be coming out in a few days, so I'll let you guys know when that's out. I did one. It's another money mindset one, because I had a lot of people buying the bundle I did, the money mindset one, and wanting more. So I made a new, just with different affirmations track that will be out on my YouTube for free. So I'll email you guys if you want to get on the list when that's ready. And I'll let you know here on TikTok too. But the thing is, you have to understand that if you have negative thoughts going on, if you're just someone who thinks negative, or if as it pertains to a certain area or topic of your life, you have negative thoughts and stories going on, as you start to tell new stories, it's not going to feel right? It's going to feel like a lie. But you have to stay consistent and kind of do the boring, consistent work. And it's not even work really, because you're not out there hustling physically. It's just training your mind. It's disciplining yourself to think a new way. You have to get through that initial little rough patch, right? Like that resistant patch. And then it's going to start feeling more normal. And what you'll notice is that as you stop rejecting these new beautiful ideas and thoughts that align with the reality you want to create, they're going to start making you feel better. And then the better you feel, you're going to want to keep doing it. And before you know it, you're just going to be feeling good and affirming good and thinking good thoughts. And then it will show up. It always shows up, because it's the state that you're embodying that you manifest. So that's the issue. A lot of people, they'll be like, oh, I did my affirmations in the morning and it didn't work. I'm like, okay, well, are you then all day long after that complaining? Are you feeling bad? Are you feeling hopeless? Like, are you keeping the mental diet all day? Okay. And this doesn't need to be hard. Okay. You can sit and do your affirmations if you like to write them out, if you like to listen to them, if you like to just think them in your head. You can do that first thing in the morning and before bed. And if you want to do it again in the afternoon, you can. But the rest of the time, you don't need to be affirming all day, but I want you to you don't need to be affirming for what you want all day. But what I want you to really understand is that every thought you think, everything you speak, every word you speak is an affirmation. So make sure you're keeping it positive, right? Don't talk about the things that aren't going right. The things that you're trying to change, don't talk about it. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I feel so fat. Oh my gosh, my partner's so annoying. Oh my gosh, I'm so broke. The money's not here yet. There's this problem. This person at work's so annoying. You don't want to talk like that. You don't want to talk about your problems, because what you focus on is what you're going to get more of. You want to talk about things that are uplifting. If you don't have anything good to say on that subject, just stay off it, okay? It's like we were taught that when we're kids. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's kind of like that. You want to really steer your mind positive in the direction you want to go. So you can affirm for specific things, and then the rest of the day, just say something general like, everything's working out for me. It's on the way. When you think of your manifestation, oh yeah, isn't that great? I get to have it. It's being worked out for me. It's on the way. I don't have to do anything. It's coming. Okay, so you can say things like that. Anytime you have a fearful thought about your manifestation pop up throughout the day, just say, oh no, actually that's just my old story. It's all working out for me now. Okay, and then you can go in with your specific affirmations if you want in regards to what you're manifesting, but you don't need to like sit and do it all day. You just need to like really take on this new identity of the person who's lucky, of who everything works out for. Your desires are on the way to you, because the truth is they are. It's just you block them with the negativity. Like, every time you pick up that old story. Does that make sense? I'll read you the description of the book to get you a few more messages from there, but let me look at the questions here. I saw a couple. Thank you for everyone who's here and joining me. Thank you for everyone who's putting in questions. I love interacting with you guys on here. Okay, Ava says, my SP keeps saying he can't be with me because of money. It makes me sad. How could I change that? Well, you're going to change it the same way you change everything. You're going to pay no mind to what's going on around you. Pay no mind to what he's saying. He doesn't know what he's talking about because everyone's you pushed out. People are literally just fulfilling the roles that we've assigned them in our minds. And oftentimes we've spent a lot of time in the past dwelling on things we're afraid of, things we don't want, perceived obstacles and limitations and things like that, right? So now you gotta change that. You know, make it however you want. Say, you can go general and be like, oh, he knows for sure I'm the one for him. He'll do anything to be with me. There's nothing in the way. Say something like that. Or just affirm, like, if he needs more money, be like, oh, he's fucking rich now. It's not even a problem. Like, we're together and everything's perfect. You know, like, go to the end state. Don't worry about don't focus on the obstacles. Just go to the end. Everything's perfect. How would you feel if you were in this relationship and you were together, and instead of him telling you that he can't be with you, he's like, oh my gosh, I can't be without you. I can't stop thinking about you. Or he's blown up your phone and he's there with you all the time. Maybe you've moved in together. Like, I don't know. Pick whatever feels good and believable to you. Don't get focused on the process. You want to focus on the end goal. When you focus on the end goal, so if you guys are familiar with Neville Goddard, what he talks about when he says living in the end means you pick how you want to end up. You pick how you want your story to end, and you stay loyal and faithful to that, and you do not mess with the middle. That's the how. You don't need to know how it's going to unfold, okay? He could manifest a ton of money and it's no longer an issue for him. Or he could just have an epiphany and come to his senses and be like, money doesn't even matter. I just need to be with this woman right now. Like, I cannot rest until I am with her. Like, you don't know. Like, things could happen. Things could rearrange. Opportunities could come in. Like, whatever needs to happen to make your end state that you're embodying come true will happen. But you have to focus on what you want. If you focus on the middle, that's the state you're embodying. Or you focus on the problems or the obstacles or the current situation, that's how powerful your mind is. You're going to keep creating more of that, okay? So you have to, like, be mentally strong and emotionally strong and tune out what's going on around you. It's not that, like, you're not aware of it, but you just look at it and say, okay, but that's not my story anymore. The 3D's old. The 3D's trash. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just based off of old thoughts, and I'm choosing to think new thoughts because I'm now embodying and claiming and owning the version of me who gets everything they want, and everything works out even better than I imagine. Okay? So when you can go in with specific affirmations, of course, but if you're in a really resistant place, I encourage you to, like, work on your self-concept as it pertains to just being lucky and being someone who things are getting worked out for. And if it's something that feels really big and you can't imagine how it's going to get worked out, you can say, I have no idea how this is going to work out, but I'm choosing to trust and know that some way, somehow it will. I'm open to receiving a miracle. Something like that. If it feels like it would take a miracle to turn your situation around, use that as your affirmations. You know, just work with where you're at. If you guys have a hard time creating affirmations, that's something I can do with you in email coaching, by the way. So just kind of, you know, help you figure out where your limiting beliefs are and, like, how to find affirmations that feel good for you so they work. I also lead you through how to create your affirmations that work, like every different type of affirmation, and really detailed explaining your self-concept and how to manifest by mastering your self-concept in my ultimate self-concept guide. So you can download that if you want it. It's in the link in my bio. You'll find all that stuff there. So if you're confused about anything, you just send me a message and I can direct you to what would be most helpful for you. But let me know if that makes sense, guys. Okay, let me see. I want to make sure I don't miss any of the comments. Hang on. How do I manifest commitment for him to move in? Okay, SC. Same thing as I was telling Ava. I want you to get clear about what you really want, okay? What do you really want? What's the end goal? And find a technique, either affirm or visualize or whatever, that works for you, or script, you know, and do that. By the way, guys, this would be a great time for anyone new. Like, I don't talk about my courses so much. I mostly talk about, like, the email coaching or, like, my affirmation bundles or, like, my self-concept guide. But I actually have a bunch of self-paced programs, like full-on programs with, like, video content where I go in-depth teaching you things, give you journaling prompts and exercises and things. So I do have a program called Manifestation Mastery where I, like, lead you through all the different techniques, how to totally rewrite your script, your story, your self-concept, how to let go, how to know when to affirm and stop affirming, like how to balance your masculine feminine energy. I, like, go all in with that. So if that's something that would feel supportive for anyone at any point in time, that's there under self-paced programs, okay? And you can always ask me if you have questions. But you want to just focus on your end. You want to get really clear about what you want. And if you don't know what you want, then you got to get clear with that. There can be resistance sometimes. So like, I know for me, when I was manifesting a good relationship I had, earlier in my life, I had not so great relationships. And when I intentionally was manifesting in a good love relationship, my brain almost had a block. So I was like, well, I can't even imagine like being treated well, because like I've never experienced that. That was like my story. Like this is like years ago, but that was my story, right? Like, so I had to kind of bypass that. So I'll give you guys a question that's really good to ask yourself. This is what I use with my one-on-one clients. When they say something like, I can't imagine, or I don't know, or, they get that kind of that frustrated block, that wall goes up. I just say, okay, but if you could imagine, how would it be? So you just say, okay, but if I could, you kind of acknowledge, okay, I get that you say you can't imagine that, but if you could, how would it feel? Okay. So I want you to imagine, how does commitment feel? And really what's super powerful in this is to decide who you are in that relationship. How do you feel now that you're committed to? Who are you? You're like, well, I'm hot, I'm gorgeous, I'm sexy, I'm irreplaceable. I'm so desirable. I feel so wanted. I feel so loved and cherished. And like, of course I'm committed to, because I'm a catch. There's no one like me. I'm the best. I'm the best and only option. Like, of course they commit to me. They know they'd be dumb to pass me up, like kind of work on building that kind of delusional, it's going to feel delusional, but it's not, self-concept of like, of course you're chosen. Like, and if visualizing is your thing, envision a scene where you're in your dream home and you're together, and like your SP's arms are around you and telling you how much they love you and they're so happy that you're here, and whatever you need to do to really get into that feeling. You want to find what works for you and do it often, instead of focusing on the unwanted circumstances. I want you to like think of the unwanted circumstances like hot coals. The second you pick it up, I want you to like throw it right back down. I don't want you to entertain it at all, because that's not who you are. And it has nothing to do with what you get to create and what you get to have, Okay. Let me read. Callie, I know time doesn't matter, just bringing this up for Q. I've been believing and feeling in 4D for 3 years. Okay. So, any tips? Yeah. So, I want to first, before I point out what's going on here, I want to just tell you, like, I have a lot of compassion for you, and I understand, because I've had things that I manifested quickly, and I had things that felt like they took forever. And in the beginning of my manifestation journey, when I really was starting to understand this, I felt like I couldn't really manifest anything. Like, I liked the idea of it, but I didn't really fully believe, okay? I had a lot of self-concept limits and stuff going on. So I feel for you. I know it can be frustrating, okay? I invite you to just take a deep breath and be here, be in this moment, really like connect with yourself. If you want to place your hands over your heart, your belly, close your eyes and just breathe and connect with yourself and feel into your own energy. Okay. And I want you to just relax. Okay. And I want you to really be open to the truth that I'm going to speak to you. And that is that you are infinite. Okay. So you're not running out of time. Everything in your life has gone perfectly and led you to this moment. And right now you are safe. And right now, even if you think there's been no movement, I promise you, magic and miracles have been working together behind the scenes for you. Okay? You are on time. You are on your way to it. It is on its way to you. You will not miss it. It is all unfolding perfectly. And yes, we're going to manifest. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to help walk you through some self-talk and dialogue to help you get out of that energy of waiting. But I also want you to not tell the story that you've done something wrong, because the truth is you're perfect. You're perfect as you are. And I guarantee you that there's so much goodness around you right now. And you are limitless. And there is no limit on what you can create and how quickly it can come in, and things can turn around fast. But I will tell you that things will turn around. You'll have a better, more easy, flowy experience with this if you can get out of the energy of lack, okay? So when we are acknowledging that something isn't here or that something's taken a long time to show up, and I get it because I've been there. Like I still have some things that I could feel like that about, right? But I've learned that being in that energy of, well, I've been doing it for this long and it's not here, that's still acknowledging the absence of it. You're still, in a sense, embodying a state of lack. So my advice for you, I'm going to give you some affirmations for this, but also my advice for you would be stop checking the 3D. Okay? I want you to get so wrapped up in having a good time. Master the basics, master where you're at. Like, where are you not taking full advantage of where you are? Where are you overlooking things and not appreciating them because you're not in your end state yet, right? Like, if you could just fill up your days with so much fun and appreciation and gratitude and play and pleasure and just doing things you love and doing the techniques and affirming and being happy for where you are and super excited for all the goodness that's going to come, you'll be in such a different vibration. I understand this totally. I totally understand. Hi, Ashley. Hello. Welcome. I totally understand because it's hard. It's like you've been trained to like really look outside of you and take note of where you are. But what happens is you flip-flop and stay stuck when you do this. When you're like, okay, I'm living in my 4D, I'm manifesting, I'm doing the techniques, but it's not here. Where is it? And it's kind of like this internal struggle between you. In those moments where you're feeling like that, I want you to just kind of self-soothe, just kind of like how I led you through. You know, you're going to get everything you want. Everything's working out for you. It doesn't matter how long it seems to have taken. You can have a breakthrough any second. Like, you can 1 second be in one reality and the next second that issue can be totally eliminated with just one event that happens in a split second, okay? And we don't know how or when. The way you can bypass this and really quantum leap is to really claim the new identity now and not give a crap what it shows. Okay? So if you're really struggling with this, in the moments where you feel like you're struggling, you say, that's okay. If you see something you don't like or you realize it's not here, that's okay. That's just my old story. That's just old programming. It's all working out for me. It's unfolding right now. It's all being handled. I'm well on my way. There's magic happening behind the scenes that I'm not even aware of. I'm not concerned at all. I know wonderful things are happening for me. You know, kind of talk yourself off the ledge, or, you know, if it's love or money or your body, whatever it is, be like, it's okay. It's okay that my body doesn't feel good right now because I know that I am meant to enjoy perfect health and I'm meant to have my dream body. I know that for a fact. I know that it's inevitable. And, you know, maybe be kind to your mind and notice some of the progress you've made. Or if you don't see physical results yet, you're feeling better. You're building your faith. You're building your belief. Like, you're on the way, right? Do that. And then when you can, go all in your I am. Claim it now because you're infinite. You don't have to keep acknowledging where you're at. Just be it now. You know, like, if you're having a hard time, say, okay, I know for sure I'm meant to be wealthy. I know for sure I'm meant to be successful. I know it's inevitable. I know I'm going to have this relationship. I know my body's going to heal, whatever. But then once you work your way out of that kind of like deficit energy, that lack energy, and you get to a neutral space, I want you to go all in and say, you know what? I am. I always have been healthy. I've always been wealthy. I've always been loved and chosen, because the truth is, every single timeline exists, so it's not actually a lie. There is a version of you that's always been loved. There's a version of you that was born into money and literally doesn't have to work. There's a version of you who's succeeded at everything they've done. There's a version of you who's always been healthy. Okay? And you get to claim it now. Okay? So, you know, in the Bible, when they say you have to die to the old man and put on the new man, they're talking about, like, Jesus is talking about, like, shifting your identity, your self-concept. Again, guys, I do have a self-concept guide if you want. It's, once you purchase it, it's instant download. It's yours to keep. I go really in depth with this. I help you with your self-talk. I help you identify your story and really, you know, learn how to form affirmations and self-talk, or use manifestation techniques that work for you. Okay. So that's the link at the top of my page. But essentially you want to be so busy creating the life you want and embodying the version of you that you want to be that you don't have time to acknowledge it's the lack of it. Because the version of you who's abundant isn't focused on lack. They're not focused on time. They're focused on who they're being. And I want to pose it to you this way. We don't know how long your manifestation is going to take. Everyone's different because everyone has different belief systems going on. And, what I can tell you is if you don't give up, if you keep going, if you keep growing and working on yourself and you keep desiring to have a better understanding of this and to fine tune your manifestation skills, if you have a burning desire for what you want and you don't give up, sure, maybe you fall down, but if you pick yourself back up and you keep going, like your success is inevitable. So you're going to get there regardless. If you're focused on the time, you're going to be, if you're focused on how much time has passed where it hasn't happened, you're going to feel defeated. You don't have time to be feeling defeated. Like you have to keep going, The time's going to pass either way. We don't know how long it's going to be. You get to decide how you experience this part of your life. When you look back, how do you want to remember this period of your life? How do you want to remember this unfolding? How do you want to remember this manifestation journey? Do you want to remember as like stressed out or like feeling good 1 second when you're doing your techniques and then like stressed out, anxious? Where is it? Not feeling good, feeling like you failed. Like that's not a good vibe. Like you can create a really good experience for yourself. And I think this is what a lot of the law of attraction people talk about when they're like, oh, just match the energy of it, just feel good, feel better. But I want you to do it intentionally. Like you get to feel good now because it's done. It's for sure coming in. Like, it's not like, oh, just feel good without the thing and maybe it will come, maybe it won't. Like, no, you're getting your shit. Like it's going to come, it's going to happen. So let yourself feel good. Like you want to think of it instead of like flip flopping between like, oh, I'm excited for it. And then like, why is it not here? This sucks. This isn't okay. That's not a good flip flop. I want you to flip flop between appreciating where you are now and excited and grateful for everything that's on its way. That's a much better dance. You feel me? Because here's the thing. Once you get that thing that seems so big and like you've been waiting so long for it, once you get it and have it for a little while and 3 months pass and that's like more normal to you, you kind of forgot about it. It's lost its importance. You're on to the next thing. And there's always going to be more things you want to manifest. So if you're always like, yeah, but it's not here yet, how am I going to get it? Stressed out, you're going to have a really stressful life. That's not a fun dance. You want like the good flowy thing of like loving where you're at, focusing on the things that are good about where you're at. And then like getting so excited and grateful for everything that you get to create and knowing that the sky's the limit and there's no end to this and you get to keep going and going and going. Does that make sense? So actually what's just coming to me for you, Callie, for a good technique for you and anyone else tuning into this who's struggling with this, in order to kind of knock that desire off the pedestal, if you feel like you've been manifesting one specific thing for a long time and you feel like you can't help but think that, I want you to think, instead of visualizing you just getting it and achieving it, I want you to go past that. So I want you to envision yourself a year down the road when you've manifested this big thing and it's all no longer a big deal. And you're looking back and you're like, I don't know what I was so worried about. Like, that's crazy. I got bigger things to worry about now. Like, I'm on to bigger and better. I want you to like envision a scene of you in your life where this thing's now normal for you and it's been normal for like a long period of time. Okay, I think that's really going to help you because sometimes we keep ourselves in the energy of waiting when you're like envisioning, like, okay, let's say, let me use love because love's a good example. So let's say you're manifesting a specific person and they've like got you blocked and there's no contact and you haven't heard from them. If you're like putting all your energy into like, oh, I just want them to reach out. I just can't wait to get that text. I can't wait to see their name pop up on my phone. That's kind of like a needy, desperate energy. And it's going to feel kind of like you're always waiting. Whereas if you would go into the energy of like, we're together, we live together, like we're engaged, like they're blowing up my phone all the time, like I'm in this relationship, like you're like years down the road and you're already together, the texts are going to roll in more quickly because you're like not focused on that next little spot. You've more so like normalized this, like, well, of course they're texting you because you're in a committed relationship and it's been that way for a long time. Does that make sense? Let me know. Hi, Ashley. You just thought of me. I love it. How have you been? Let me know your progress. Let me know your wins. What's going on? Ashley, love that. It's inevitable. Do your best to enjoy the process. Reach for the best option each moment. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And if you're just really having a moment and like you really cannot find appreciation for anything, you don't need to like force yourself to feel grateful. Just make yourself feel better. Like calm yourself. If listen, so this is for me, anytime I would feel like resistant or like fearful or like, where is it? Why is it not happening? I would just chill out and go lay down and listen to one of my affirmation tracks that I make. No big deal. If you feel like listening to affirmations is even going to trigger you, if you're really triggered, just calm yourself down. Go play, go work out, go do something, but don't call a friend and complain about it. Don't fucking go try to fix it and ruminate on it in your mind. Like, let it go. It's safe to let it go. You can always tell yourself, you know what? My inner being is all over this. It's okay. I don't have to control this. It's already being worked out for me. Like the second I wanted it, it was beginning to be worked out for me. There's nothing I need to do. It's working. If I have actions I need to take, I will be guided. I will be led, but this is going to happen with or without me doing anything. All I need to do is sit back, relax, and trust and know that it's mine and it's done because it is, because creation's finished and I'm God and I'm infinite and I'm the God of my reality, and what I say goes, and what I want comes to me. I'm naturally magnetic to what I want. Anytime you're stressed out, anytime you're anxious, anytime you're fearful, it's like you're tense and you've got that barrier up, and it's like it's trying to come to you what you want, but like you're blocking it because you're telling story it's not here. You always need to drop the story of it's not here and it hasn't happened yet. And your mind, your logical mind, your human eyes are going to try to tell you that, right? So what you can do is you can just be like, I know that's how it appears, but I know better because I know who I am. I know what I'm creating within. And the fact is it already exists. And you just keep decreeing and declaring that until you do see it with your human eyes, because I promise if you persist, you will. But if you feel like, maybe sometimes too, like maybe you can manifest other things instead of just like being hyper-focused on one thing. Like maybe you need to distract yourself, Like I had something in particular that I was trying to manifest a while ago. And I was like, yeah, I know for sure it's going to happen. I feel at a roadblock with this. So let me just go and like do something else and like focus on something else. So I like went and focused on something else, like, affirming for another area of my life and like actually physically going and doing things like working on another project. And then like things started to fall into place. So, sometimes you just got to let your hands off it a little bit. Bill says, see it, believe it, and receive it. 100%. Callie says, great explanation. Marie says, it makes perfect sense. Good. I'm so glad, guys. Callie says, wow, yeah, that makes so much sense. Yay, I'm glad it's making sense, guys. Okay. Bill, open-minded affords you limitless imagination. It does, because you are limitless. Anything's possible for you. Everything's possible for you. I just made a video about that yesterday. That's my last TikTok. You guys can go watch it if you haven't seen it. Ashley, I'm much more emotionally regulated. Yay. And I've made some progress, but I feel like I'm on the verge of a major shift physically. I can't explain why, because it looks kind of back and forth with progress. Yeah, but you internally know. But I'm standing in my assumption more and more and just feel different. That's amazing. That's how you know. And you know what, Ashley, when you get to that better feeling state and you're like landing more of knowing that it's inevitable that you get what you want, you kind of stop caring about when it comes in. That's like the irony of it. And that's why people say sometimes like, oh, just stop caring, like when you stop caring, it'll come in. But when you really want something, like it's hard to not care about it. Like you can't make yourself not care. The way you kind of lose the neediness or loosen your tight grip or not be desperate for it is when you keep reassuring yourself over and over, like, this is inevitable. I'm for sure going to get it. I don't have to worry about this. It's being worked out for me, That's like what I've found to really work the best. Let me read through more comments, guys. Thank you to everyone who's here. I'll pull more cards in a little bit anyway. But yeah, we got started on all of this because we're talking about positive energy. That was the card that came out. Ashley, this is what happens when you like start assuming, like when you really start understanding the law of assumption, like you're practicing it, you're embodying it. And I'm really super freaking proud of you. Okay. what does it, I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry, but you say, what does it mean when you start dreaming about your manifestation coming true? I think that's really good. So, I mean, you get to assign the meaning, but I'll tell you how I've experienced that. I actually had a couple dreams lately that were like things that I had just thought about for a second and it was in my dream. So this to me, guys, proves that like you actually only need to think about it once. You actually need to only intend it once. You don't have to sit around and affirm and visualize all day. I was going to make a video about this, but I'll just say it here. The reason you affirm and do techniques is to make you feel better, to help you land in the knowing that it's inevitable. Because it's going to happen, It's not required in order to get your manifestation. It's just to help you form new neural pathways in your brain. But as you practice this, you'll notice that like things come more quickly. So there were a couple things that I had thought about, or one thing I had spoken with my partner about, and then like two other things that I had just had fleeting thought of during the day, like paid no mind to it. And then like a few days later in my dreams, it was me living out the thing that I wanted. And I was like, holy shit, this is just proof like how on top of it our subconscious minds are. Like, what you need to understand is your subconscious mind is working for you nonstop behind the scenes all the time. Your subconscious mind knows what you want. So even if you're confused, even if you have those moments where you doubt what you want or it feels too difficult to affirm specifically for it, just relax and know and trust that it's all working out for you, because it is. So when you dream about it, the way I interpret that, again, give any meaning you want to it, but how I interpret that is that your subconscious mind is like working on it for you. It's like bringing it closer. I'm always like, ooh, it's closer. It's on the way. It's coming to me now. Like, ooh, this is exciting. And that's how I interpret that. Yeah. And I just know that my subconscious mind is bringing it out about for me in the best way possible. Ashley says, yes, I'm like, whatever. If negative feelings come up or the 3D, I just know I've done my best and that's enough. Freaking men. Exactly. And you know what I've started like saying to my 3Ds and I like, or just my mind when it says, oh, but look at this looks like a problem or whatever. I'm like, okay, so what? And like, I'm still getting what I want. That's not new news. This is the old story. And I'm tired of the old story. It's like, when you're just like over something. So like at some point you just get overreacting to the 3D and you're just like, okay. And like in this moment, I want to be happy, not triggered. And I'm not going to give my power away to like an old circumstance. Because here's what happens, and Neville Goddard talked about this. He says that why we talk about not reacting in the law of assumption community is because Neville talked about, how things wither and die with indifference, right? So this is understanding like when you're emotionally involved in something, when you're emotionally invested in something, that's a lot of powerful energy. You're feeding it. So when we see unwanted things in our 3D reality, or we have like sad things that happened in the past and we choose to go dwell on it and cry about it, like you're putting energy into that. You're experiencing that all over again in your now, right? Like you're reliving that trauma all over again now. Like love yourself enough to like give yourself a good experience now, regardless of what's going on around you. So, even if you are in a moment where it's hard to focus on what you want because it's creating resistance for you, if you could just not focus on what you don't want, if you could just stop acknowledging that or just breathe and find a way to be peaceful and soothe yourself regardless, those things will pass really quickly. You'll be amazed at how quickly those things exit your life. And you'll know they're on the way out when you stop feeling so triggered by them. In just the same way that your manifestations are on the way in when you start feeling more certain. Ashley said, thank you. Appreciate you. You're so welcome. I appreciate you too. That's exciting when you put it that way. I'm embodying more woo. Dreams are so weird. You're absolutely right. I would guess that we always dream what we think, but don't remember always. True. Yeah. I mean, so much happens in the astral plane when you're dreaming. Like, do any of us really understand how this works? Like, we can study quantum physics all day. We can study spirituality. We can study the mind. We can study psychology. But like there's so much, more than just what meets the eye. Like more than a human brain can comprehend at once. But all I can tell you is that you are infinite. You are more powerful than you know. Everything's available to you. Everything's possible for you. Everything's working out for you. You're so supported. You're so supported. Right. That makes sense about your SP. Good. I'm glad. Marie says she loves the so what. And yeah, just think if you got like a whiny, bitchy little child that you're dealing with or partner or whatever, and they just complain. And you're like, at some point you're just like, and what's your point? Like you've heard him, you're like, stop focusing on it. You kind of got to get like that with your mind and just be like, it's okay. I know you're frustrated because you think you're not going to get what you want, but you're going to get what you want. And I know you might not get it, but like, just stop. You might not understand it. Like get it as in understand it. Just relax, just gotta like, however you gotta talk to yourself to figure this out. Ashley says it's reacting to a tree already planted. Focus on a new seed. Easier said than done. Yeah, it takes discipline because we're like, we are so mesmerized by the illusion of the 3D. Like it's like we're such powerful creators that we got lost in our own dream, in our own creation, and forgot that we're the creator, that we're God, right? So it's like this is a process of like stopping reacting to the 3D for long enough to pull your energy back within you and remember who the frick you are, right? Which is like all powerful. You are God. You're like everything's created in your mind, which means you're one with everything. You're not separate from what you want. And that's like a really hard concept for people to grasp because we're born into this world and we just get lost in an illusion and we think that everything that we can taste, smell, see, touch, all of that is so real. And we don't realize that we're the source of it. None of that exists without you. It's kind of like that. Like this analogy used to always stump me when I was little, but now I understand it. But they're like, okay, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, did it make a noise? Right? It's kind of like in your refrigerator, the light that goes on when you open the door. And if you keep opening the door to check if the light's on, well, the light's going to go on because the light goes on when you open the door. But if you keep the door shut, the light doesn't go on. You feel me? So it's like, you just have to practice it. You just have, and this card was talking about positive energy. Surround yourself with positive people and situations and avoid negativity. And I was saying, yeah, it's great. Like if things are great in your outer world, but sometimes we're in situations that aren't perfect, but your power is always in the now moment, what you're going to entertain internally. So use your tools. Use whatever tools you like. I don't want it to feel like a chore. Although I will say when I first was reprogramming my mind, like I had a lot of negative thinking going on. That's just kind of how I was brought up. And then, you create more experiences based off of that. So I had a lot of life evidence of like that backed up my negativity. Right. So when I was working on it, when I got like my soul kind of was like, come on, Hannah. Do you believe in this shit or not? Like I've been trying to manifest for a long time. I'd manifested stuff, but like I wasn't manifesting the big things. And I really had a moment where I got real with myself and was like, okay, well, I'm not actually working on my mental diet. And if it's my thoughts that create, if I really believe in this stuff, then I have to take responsibility for my thoughts and my mind. It was like my mind was dragging me around and I had to like put a leash on it and be like, oh, no. I will be directing this, not you, And it felt a little tedious at times. There was a phase of my life, a couple months of my life where I literally listened to affirmations nonstop. Shout out to Rockstar Affirmations on YouTube because they were like my go-to because I just have so many. But yeah, I found a ton on YouTube and I just started like at that point in time, I was not my mind. I love making these subliminals and affirmations for you because I'm really good at coming up with affirmations. Like my clients love me to help them with affirmations and they're coming up with their own. But at that point in time, when I was just shifting my mindset, really paying attention to my mental diet, I did not have the capacity at that point to like think good thoughts on my own. Like when I would like try to think of my manifestation in a positive way, like I would draw a blank. It was like this wall of resistance was there because it was so not the way my brain was trained. So I used whatever tools I could get my hands on and I just stayed consistent. Sometimes they felt really good, but then I would I'd listen to my affirmations and be like, yeah, all pumped up. And then I would like walk outside my house and be like, what the fuck? How is this my life? And it was like, I was just constantly reacting, but I just kept doing it. And I was like, you know what? if I have to listen to these affirmation tracks all day, every day to get my brain accepting this and feeling good and starting to think this way, then that's what I'm going to do. And now I listen to affirmation tracks just for fun because I like it. And it's a technique that I really love and stand by, and it feels good for me. But I'll go periods of time without listening to any too, because my brain just naturally thinks positive thoughts. But that's because I trained it. It wasn't by accident. Like, it was very intentional, so you just got to really check in with yourself and really pay attention. Like, what are you focusing on? Where's your focus? Because a lot of times people will think they're focusing on their manifestation, but really they're hyper focused on the lack of it. Of like, it's not here yet. And it's kind of this needy, desperate, clingy, grasping vibe. And that's not the vibe. You want to be in the state of the wish fulfilled. Okay. And hopefully throughout the course of this live so far, I've kind of given you enough tools of how to calm yourself when you're triggered and get to that neutral space. So then you can build from there, build the positive momentum. And if you didn't catch this from the beginning, I will upload it either later tonight or tomorrow to my YouTube, because I always put the replays there. So for anyone who just hopped on or who's new, guys, the link for everything you need, free resources, paid resources, working with me, any of the stuff I offer is at the top of my page, okay? My YouTube will be there, newsletter if you want to be on that. I'm back in my yearly routine now that summer's over. So I'll be doing a newsletter once a week. I'll be going live once a week and creating content on here for you guys, as well as more affirmation and subliminal tracks, okay? So, but yeah, the YouTube channel's on there. So you can find all of these on there. So you can rewatch this. You can, it's helpful sometimes to like listen to these lives and just hear me riff and rant on stuff and, just get in this energy and hear me reading people's comments and questions and answering them and hearing people's success stories, because it just, I remember there was a point in time where for me, and this goes with positive energy, where it's like, if you're the only one who believes in this stuff, like if your friends don't understand it, if your family doesn't understand it, or maybe people get it, but they're not really living it, you can feel kind of alone. You can kind of like start to question yourself and be like, well, am I delusional? So surround yourself with positive energy, like intentionally lift yourself up, intentionally fill your mind with uplifting information and people. If you don't have a support system now, let me be your support system. We have a great little community here, go and binge on the replays if that's what you need to do every morning to like get yourself believing, I still enjoy listening to manifestation people on YouTube in the morning. Like, I love either listening to Abraham Hicks or like, I love how the algorithm just knows what I'm thinking about, because it's like whatever fleeting thought I had the day before of like, oh yeah, that would be cool. Then all of a sudden an affirmation track geared just towards that pops up, or there's another amazing content creator on YouTube, like talking about the very thing I was thinking about. And so I love to just constantly fill my mind with positive things that support the direction I'm going. I like reading these cards for you guys, but I do it in a very uplifting way. You're never going to hear me like saying negative things on here. So like, if you are someone who likes tarot and stuff, like be careful. I would work on intentionally just creating your thoughts the way you want, like telling the story the way you want to be, instead of like searching for someone who's telling the story that lines up with what you want and then getting fearful when you hear something you don't like. Like, you need to understand you're creating this. It's not, like a leaf blowing in the wind, or, there's a chance it will happen, there's a chance it won't. No, like you decide it's going to happen and then trust that decision and stay loyal to that, and it will happen. It has no choice but to. I'm living proof. I've done this in every area of my life. Okay. Shruti, how can I believe that good things can and will happen to me because I deserve it? Well, you have a perfect affirmation right there. I am now choosing to believe that good things can and will happen to me because I am amazing and I deserve it. I feel deeply within myself, to my core, I know that I am good through and through. I'm a good person. I learn from my mistakes. I forgive myself for my mistakes. And I deserve the best. I'm just as worthy and deserving as anyone else. And if you're focused on like thinking you're not worthy or you've messed up or something, I want you to remind yourself that failures are literally the pathway to success. Like, you just got to keep trying and trying and going again and going again. If you do not give up, if you are relentless, if you have this burning desire in you, you will get what you want. You will. So this thing that you just said, how can I believe this? How can I believe that good things can and will happen to me because I deserve it? you just need to tell that story over and over. Like, you have the perfect affirmation right there. You literally told me in that sentence what you want to believe. So tell yourself, say, if you need to kind of ease your way into it, be like, you know what? I have a good heart. I may have messed up. I may not be perfect, but I have a good heart. And I'm choosing to believe that I'm just as worthy as anyone else of good things. I'm worthy of a fresh start, or whatever it is, right? Like, I deserve to have an amazing life. I deserve to have a really good life. And I am choosing to trust and know that good things happen every day. And I am now someone who good things happen to. I am someone that things work out for. I'm choosing, because I'm choosing it. I'm now choosing to be the version of me that good things happen to, and I'm choosing to believe. And you just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until you eventually believe it, because eventually with repetition, your brain's going to accept it. The only reason you don't believe this right now is because you have a different story that you've been repeating more. And so your brain believes that more because it believes that because it sounds familiar. Okay? Let me know if that made sense for you. I went by this live at the perfect time because you're saying everything I've been stressed about. Oh my God, I love it. Perfect. Alignment. Because you're here, because you are so supported. See how that works? You're welcome, Shruti. Here, wait. Sorry, I skipped over some comments. Oops. I scrolled too fast. Carrie, we live together. He said he's leaving me 3 months when Lisa's up. How can he change his mind? Okay, Carrie, don't bring the old story. Drop the old story. Like, don't pick that shit up. That's not your story anymore. How do you want it to go? If you have too much resistance, I talked about this earlier in the life. If you have too much resistance to like affirm positively for what you want, just go, you know what? Nope, that's the old story. Everything's working out for me. Okay? If you're like really coming from this desperate place of trying to make something not happen, you're still inadvertently focusing on the thing that you don't want to happen, or you're like too afraid of it not the thing you want not happening, right? So, you're going to have to gauge where you're at, be really honest about where your mind's been at, how you're affirming. If you need help with this, guys, like all the ways I can support you, all the tools, self-paced programs, email coaching, self-concept guide, subliminal bundles, affirmation bundles, they're all at the top of my page, YouTube, all the things. Ashley, have you ever thought about starting a Discord? Was part of one, but everyone was like 18. I think for me, I would be like way too overwhelmed with the amount of messages, which is fine, but it just wasn't the right fit for you. Yeah, I feel you. I know I've been toying around with like a group coaching thing for a while. I just enjoy right now like coming live and doing this live. Although maybe some people would prefer to be in like a smaller group, like more private group to discuss stuff, I guess. I don't know. Is that what you mean? Or Dana, I heard some coaches talk about how you choose your parents before you're born. How is that possible? Well, because you're infinite. And I think people who are saying that are talking about how like that theory, that train of thought of that your soul chooses your entire path before you come here. But I find that it's not super helpful to like focus on stuff and try to understand how or why. Your power is always in the now moment. Okay. So like if you're in a less than satisfactory family situation, just be like, okay, now what? So like, you can rewrite stuff. You can do revision in the sense of like, oh, like my family's always been great. Oh, we've always gotten along or whatever, or they've always been wealthy or whatever. But I find sometimes that like there's less resistance with just kind of acknowledging current circumstances and being like, okay, so what do I want to create now? Because what's manifest already really doesn't matter. When we look at manifesting from a quantum physics point of view, every probability and possibility, every timeline and combination of timelines already exists. So it's like you're going to experience the one that you put your attention on, the one you focus on. So put your conscious awareness on what you want, even if that's not what you see in front of you, It's more so useful to like just decide the story you want right now. Okay? I hope that makes sense. I guess it depends on why you're asking that. But I'm sure you'll be able to fit that to apply your situation. know how to make that fit your situation. Okay. Shruti, it's hard because I see those who are worthy not get what they want. Well, everyone's worthy. It's not even about worthiness. That's the thing. That's like one of the biggest lies I think religion has spread, is that you're not worthy. So that's, I think when I work with clients who are newer to this, kind of the things that they struggle with the most would be worthiness, like feeling like they're not worthy of what they want, or not believing they're capable of it, or that it's possible for them. And if you don't have those two fundamental beliefs, like, you're going to have a really hard time manifesting. Those are kind of two core things you need to have locked in. I actually have a little mini course called Worthy. You might like that, Shruti, if you're looking for support. It's a self-paced thing. There's different subliminals in there that I created, and also a little mini workbook there to help you kind of dig deep and look at that. If you're looking for like a deeper dive, emotional rehab, we really go into that. Okay. And feel free, if you're not sure what direction to go and you want support, you can let me know. But you just gotta not, that's just a lens you're holding up saying, oh, these are people who are worthy and they don't get what they want. People get what they believe. Okay. So it's beautiful that you can see that they're worthy, but it's really sad that you don't see that you're worthy. So you got to work on your self-concept, like be the change you want to see, like we're not going to be able to help people get what they want if we don't know how to get what we want yet. So, it's always, it's great that you're concerned about other people, but really your first focus should be on you. Let's master knowing and deeply embodying your worth and knowing that you get to have what you want so that you can be a really good example and then go help others. Yeah. So, and you don't want to focus on injustice in the world, because that's just a perspective. What if everyone's right where they need to be? What if everyone's soul planned out their lives perfectly and they're experiencing what they need to experience on their journey? We can look at other people's lives and make a ton of assumptions and assume that someone's suffering. Maybe just because what they have doesn't look good to us, maybe that's amazing to them. We should just be more focused on us. I hope that makes sense. Ashley, it's a common collective belief. Comes from religion. Amen. Wait. Comes from religion that good people suffer. Yeah. I mean, and the Bible's been grossly misinterpreted. Like, essentially, my understanding of it, it's like a manifestation handbook. It's a guidebook for manifestation. Shruti, that makes sense. I'm just confused because I see people who are worthy, but they are suffering. Okay. You got to not look at it that way. You just got to understand that everyone's creating their own reality. And I think where your energy is best going to be used right now is to focus on you. Okay. Ashley says, yeah, I like group support and having manifestation friends with minimal coaching, and then being able to book a one-on-one just once in a while. Oh yeah, I got it. Well, I'm going to be opening up my one-on-ones, by the way, for everyone soon. I just got back this week though, so I've been getting back in the group, but I will open the one-on-ones up. I do have email coaching available. And I guess, yeah, guys, if you're watching this live or the replay, either comment on this if you're watching it on TikTok or you're watching on YouTube, or send me a message and let me know if you'd be down for group coaching. Because if I have enough people interested in it, I wouldn't mind putting one together soon and just meet like once a week, or like twice a month or something, maybe like bi-weekly. I don't know. What I think might be cool is to do maybe like bi-weekly coaching in a small group with just people. It would be like a paid offer, like affordable, of course, and then put the replays in have a vault of the replays that you guys can, in between the calls, watch, like a monthly membership type thing. So kind of been toying around with that. So yeah, and then you guys could do one-on-ones if you wanted, of course. So I always love your feedback and I like your ideas. So let me know, guys. Ashley, you could host a group like every week and get questions in advance. Yeah, that's a good idea. And I could probably keep it small. I probably want to keep it like 10 or under, kind of like how we're at now, because I'm able to get through everyone's comments. I like smaller groups. So I think that's why when I go live, like a bunch of people come on at first and I get small, because I think like That's what I like better. It's easier for me. I don't get overwhelmed because I like to actually help you. If it's like too many comments, it's hard, you know? Okay, Dana, I mean, how could you choose to have an abusive parent or something like that? Well, I mean, I grew up, I experienced abuse growing up. When I was trying to come to terms with it, when I still was kind of in a victim mindset about it, and I was on my healing journey with that, I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm choosing to believe that I'm not a victim. So I chose to create these circumstances to wake me up so that I could learn whatever I needed to learn and evolve and grow as a soul. You know, that would be a kind of more spiritual approach to it. But you know, when we get to law of assumption and we're really mastering law of assumption, we're not going to wrestle with that so much. We're just going to when you really start to understand that everyone's you pushed out, it more so comes down to like your self-concept. Okay, so like, would someone abuse me if I believed that I was worthy? Probably not. You know, when you're grow up in a family and there's abuse going on, that's a very powerless feeling, right? It's kind of a little bit powerless just being a child anyway, and you need to ask permission to do things. But if you're like super controlled or abused, like likely you felt really powerless. Well, what better circumstances to create? What better illusion and challenge to create for yourself to be able to discover and know your own power than a circumstance that made you feel totally powerless, right? So we just have to understand duality here. Anytime I was really struggling with like past things and not knowing how to forgive it, or like really struggling with current circumstances, I always would be like, you know what? I know that because I'm experiencing this, I get to experience the complete opposite. And Abraham Hicks, if you're familiar with Abraham Hicks, kind of touches on this a bit when she talks about like, she says each topic is like, there's two ends to it. She says when you pick up a stick, like a topic is like a stick, there's two ends of the stick. There's what's wanted and what's unwanted, you know? And I never want to say that you need to experience bad things in order to experience good things. I think that's kind of like the rules we've assigned to 3D reality, you know, duality. I will tell you, as I've worked on my self-concept, of someone who like things work out for, and I've really just decided how I want life to go, I've really instilled these beliefs in myself that it gets to get better and better and easier and easier. And that's my experience. So it's going to be hard to allow life to be good and easy and get better if we keep picking up old traumas from the past. So in those moments, you almost have to ask yourself if you're really ready to move beyond it. And maybe sometimes we're not, because maybe there's things we want to understand and learn about this and integrate and heal. You know, everyone's on their own journey experiencing this differently. But for me, when I was really freaking tired of picking up the old abuse story, it was like, would I rather be right or would I rather be happy? And I was like, well, I would rather be happy. I mean, if I keep picking up this old story, I'm going to say I'm right. I'm going to be like, I was a victim. I was abused. All these things happened. Why wasn't I born into a better family? Like, that is not helpful. That is not useful. You know what I mean? Like that me doing that doesn't actually allow the dynamic within my family to change. You have to be and embody the change. So I had to get to a point where I was tired of picking that up. And I was like, you know what? I don't want that to be my story anymore. That's not what I want to experience. And then I just started focusing on how can I make my life better now? How can I be empowered now, right? Because the whole thing of abuse is feeling like things don't work out for you, feeling like a victim, feeling like things weren't fair. Okay, so now what? Now what do you want to experience? Now you want to experience being empowered, being a master manifester. You have an amazing life. Everything works out for you. You're lucky. You're loved. You're supported. Magic and miracles happen. Relationships can magically turn around for you too, but you don't even need them to, because you're creating an amazing life for yourself. You feel me? It's like onward and upward. We have to at some point get tired of picking up the old trauma. It's like you already lived it once. Like, don't keep subjecting yourself to that pain by picking it up in the now moment over and over, because it's done. It's over. You know, you just gotta, it's like that. I love the cheesy quotes, but you know, that quote where it says, let go of the past and the past will let go of you, you know? Hang on one second, I'm responding to a text. I think I'm going to wrap this up soon, but let me read through the comments. Hang on. See if there's anything else. Ashley, and then during the week, people post success stories or help each other with cues. Yeah. You know, so what I was thinking about with that, Ashley, was I was like, it would be cool to have like a paid Facebook group. So I deactivated mine like a couple months ago, actually maybe almost like a year ago now. But I didn't like delete it, so I was thinking, it's so funny you're saying that, because I literally, while I was like cooking this afternoon, I was like, I kind of feel like getting my Facebook back. And I was like, but why? You don't have a reason. And now you're like, I'm like, oh, this is great. Cause I had thought before, I was like, Facebook would be a great way, cause you can do the live within the group. So it's private, and then you guys can encourage each other, share your wins throughout there. You know what I mean? So yeah, we could figure out how many. It could be like an ongoing paid membership, or I could do it like a mastermind where it's like for X amount of weeks. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like a ongoing one, so people can like sign up or cancel or sign back up whenever they want or feel they need it. You know what I mean? And ideally just it would be like a good price point where people just stay in it, because they want to. That's my thoughts, but feel free to let me know, guys, what you want and what would be supportive. Shruti says, great, thank you. You're welcome. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to try to read through these comments real quick, and then I got to go soon. Okay. Shruti says group coaching would be great. Dan says group coaching might be cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to work on this then. I will work on putting something together. So if you guys aren't following me, I invite you to follow me. Also, if you want to stay connected, if you go to the link in my bio, scroll all the way down, there's a newsletter. I'm going to be doing a weekly newsletter, with an uplifting message for you guys. And then always at the bottom of my newsletter will be like, if there's a new offer or a new program or something, it will be there, or maybe just like older ones, that people may have forgotten about or whatever. So all that stuff's, it's not just a marketing email. It's like actually something in there for you. But then just so you know, if you ever want to see what's up to date with offers, just keep scrolling down on the email and you'll find it. Okay. I'm thinking Sunday is going to be when I get those out. Bi-weekly is cool. Yeah, it would allow people to go deeper, but be affordable. Yeah, exactly. Because not everyone can afford one-on-one. And to be honest, I would rather help more people at a lower price point than like fill up my schedule with a ton of one-on-ones. Because like if you guys know human design, I'm a projector. I'm like, I have a lot to share, but I like to do it with either pre-recorded content or just like these live coaching sessions are really great for me. I love hanging out with you guys. I love helping you guys. I love hearing your wins. I love it. Can I explain what manifestation is? No, I'm about to hop off. If you want to hear about it, just get on TikTok, go on my YouTube. Ashley, yeah, it's like those weaknesses can become bigger strengths. Exactly. What's that quote about like the crack? That's where the light gets in, like I'm going to butcher because I don't know. There's some culture, it's an Asian culture where they, if a piece of pottery breaks, they fill it with gold and put it back together with gold. So it's like, how can you alchemize a situation? How can you, one, be willing to see things differently and maybe put a positive spin on something, but how can you let that contrasting experience be the thing that drives you to create the total opposite? Because that's your power as a creator. And the thing is, when we really understand that we're creating everything, you're like, wow, if I had the power to create that, I have the power to create the total opposite, So sometimes I think like we create these things to inspire us, to like push us, because sometimes I look at stuff and I'm like, you know what, I kind of bless a lot of things that broke me because they pushed me to be better. Because I've watched a lot of people who just have a very kind of easy, mediocre life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's what they're here to experience, and that's perfect. But for me, I've always wanted more. I've always like had big dreams, but I think like part of that was because I, found myself in situations that really didn't feel correct for me. So it kind of lit this fire in me to be like, well, I'm going to figure this out. If I didn't have difficult situations, if I didn't have such negative self-talk, if I hadn't experienced abuse and trauma and all of these things and health issues, chronic health conditions and stuff like that, I would never ever even given a shit about manifesting. I wouldn't have even known about it. But it was these issues, these things that I struggled with, combined with my burning desire for more, for the complete opposite, that made me like relentless in figuring this out. And now I'm able to help you guys. And I keep doing it for myself. And I do it with my partner and the people in my life, So it's like, just know and trust that everything's perfect and everything's gone perfectly, and just know that you're not limited in what you can create moving forward, you know? Do you ever use Affirmations? V, yes, I do. I like Affirmations. What about you? Have you had good success with those? Are there any situations where manifestations affirming won't work? No, because you're creating everything. You're manifesting whether or not you understand that you are. Most people just manifest by default because they keep reacting to what is. They don't realize they're creating it by focusing on it. Dana, thank you for that explanation. In trauma therapy now because I've sabotaged romantic relationships because of it. Oh yeah, I've been there. I get it. Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, it's just reconciling within yourself that you get to do. And I think for me, probably the biggest thing was like self-forgiveness, like forgiving myself for carrying that around so long, you know? But it's possible. And the fact that you're desiring healing means you're going to get there. You're on your journey. And I stand in agreement with you that you're going to have the amazing, healthy relationship that you've always dreamed of, or relationships. You're going to get there. But just know and remember that that starts with the relationship with ourselves first. And typically when someone's gone through abuse and trauma, we've learned to abandon ourselves because we're afraid that something in us is unworthy. Otherwise, these bad things wouldn't have happened to us, right? And so deep down, we don't feel worthy of love. That's the self-sabotage right there. That's the root of it. So the medicine for that is to go in and love yourself, to go in and look at all of these ways that you don't feel worthy, all the lies you've bought into that tell you you're not good enough, and challenge those beliefs and choose to believe that you're worthy. Yeah. Andrea, and I haven't seen you in like 4 years and I see your face. Hi, how are you? I'm trying to, I don't know who you, is this someone I know? I'm going to have to like click on your profile later and see. Ashley, I'm in a paid group right now, but it's too big. Yeah, I feel like my paid groups, I'd want to keep them like 10 or 15 people at a time because I've been in big paid groups before and it's like you don't have time to answer your questions. So I might do like, and I guess that's when it comes to that, that's when a mastermind's good. But so I'm just going to, you know, because you only take so many people. But I'm going to figure it out. I might do 2 things. I might do like a paid mastermind and then have like a paid one where people can just watch the replays or something. I don't know. I need to figure it out. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. But I will be on it. That's what I will be working on this weekend and like beginning of next week, like figuring out format to do this. Okay. Because I think enough of people are wanting it and could really use it. And I would like to support you guys however you need it. Cheryl says, are thoughts and emotions the same? No. You will find that your thoughts influence your emotions. A lot of people say, well, I can't think good thoughts because I feel bad right now, but it's backwards. You can always choose to think a new thought. And as you choose to think better feeling thoughts, you're going to feel better. Okay. I hope that helps. Ashley says, I don't totally resonate with the coach the same way I do with you. Aw, I love you. I swear I attract the best clients. I feel like my clients are like soul sisters or guys, you know, it's guys or girls, doesn't matter who comes. I have both, but I find that I primarily attract female clients. Dana, I like the come and go as you need group option. Okay, this is good feedback. Thank you. Send an email letter to figure out interest. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Ashley. Okay, awesome. I'll send an email and get people's, like, I'll figure out how to do a little poll or something. Maybe I'll do a poll on my YouTube or something too and see. And then like when it's decided, I'll obviously let you guys know here, but I'll also send it out via email. So if you guys want to be on that list to stay up to date, do that. I feel like I like the idea of keeping it small because then you guys all become friends. And I find when I've done masterminds in the past, it's amazing how like the groups that come together all are going, it's like, it always works out so perfectly. It's like you're either going through similar things or there's similar themes coming up to be worked through each week. And it's great. It's really amazing. And it's a really powerful way to learn this stuff and be supported. Ashley says, true, this stuff's me when I figure it out. Feel the same. Yeah, V, you're right. It can be, affirmations can be less resistance. You're right, 100%. Yep. Because then you're telling your brain, essentially, you're giving your brain a task to go figure out, find evidence of it for you. Dana says, well said, Hannah, I feel the same. Yeah, you guys are great. Yes, the unworthy feeling for so long and abandoning yourself. Yeah. And it's amazing because when you learn to show up for you, all of a sudden then you are, what you're doing on a subconscious level is you are imprinting, you're conditioning yourself to know that it's safe to be shown up for and to get used to being shown up for. So then when a partner tries to show up for you, it doesn't freak you out, you know? Oh, sorry, there's like sirens in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. We met through Melissa in Arizona. Oh my gosh, why am I having... Oh, Melissa, like with short hair? The one who does the essential oils? I'm trying to remember her last name. Andrew, am I getting the right Melissa? Ashley, I'm sitting through a country song about that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to remember. How are you? I'm like so used to like, I think this is only the second time that someone I like know from my personal life is on here. Yeah, I remember you. It's nice to see you. Sorry, because like when it shows up on the live, it's such a tiny little bubble. I can't really like tell who it is, you know? Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Aw, yay. Well, if you see Melissa moved, I think, but tell her I said hi if you talk with her. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up because I got to go. I forgot I was supposed to have something at 6 and I'm not dressed. Oh, she's back in Arizona. Oh, nice. I'm in California now, but in the desert, so pretty much same temperature as Arizona, and I miss Arizona, so who knows? Maybe I'll be back sometime. We'll see. I'm going back to school, and then once I'm done, I'm going to keep this business, but I'm going back to school for something in the medical field. So I'm like, once we're done, then we'll see where I want to work doing that, because this I can take anywhere, you know? Bye, Ashley. Thanks, guys. Thank you for everyone who's here. I love you guys. I hope you're all doing well. Stay tuned. I'm going to figure out how to do a group coaching thing because this sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, thank you for the rose wise one. Thank you. Good to see you, Andrea. Good to see you, Ashley. Good to see you, Dana. Nice to connect with all of you. Thank you for everyone who's put comments in and participated. I love you guys. I did a video yesterday, so if you haven't seen that, that's up. I will post the replay of this live to my YouTube. And if you have not checked out my YouTube, all the replays for the past lives are there so you can dive deep. And hopefully someone's questions that they asked on that live will be helpful for you. Okay. I love you guys. Take care. See you soon. Bye.